Hello and welcome to another Community Uplift. I'm your host, Micheline Bowman. Thanks for joining us. We hope you and your family's summer is off to a great start. Now turn that AC on and get comfortable because today's show is powerful and important conversations that you don't want to miss. We're talking about mental health awareness in the Black community, and we've got the perfect guest to weigh in. We'll be joined by Terrence Woodbury, who goes professionally by the name T. Wood and owns T. Wood and Associates Mental Health Counseling, and Coach Michael Locksley, head football coach at the University of Maryland and advocate for mental health awareness. But first, let's catch up with Gamma Pi's bossless, Eric Fields, and see what the Super Chapter is up to. Coming up next on Community Uplift. And welcome back to Community Uplift. He's here joining us with the updates on the Super Chapter. Please welcome Gamma Pi's bossless, Eric Fields.
Hi, Micheline. Pleasure to be here.
I just love saying Super Chapter. Can I just say that? And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to sit here and interview you because you guys have been doing some amazing things. And please share some big news that you have.
Well, thank you for asking. You know what? Gamma Pi is really proud because we have been doing some big things. One of the latest things that we're very proud of is that we were actually awarded the Second District Conference for the Fraternity. We are the largest chapter in the Second District, third largest in the nation, and we've hosted our Second District Conference before, and we do it very well. So we're fortunate that we're here in Prince George's County. We've got the Gaylord Hotel and the National Harbor in our backyard, and we're going to put on the most fantastic event that you ever want to see. So we're looking forward to seeing over 1,500 to 2,000 brothers attend.
Now, I'm told that a lot of planning goes into this. So being a super chapter, how super important is it for you guys to really get together and make this something that everybody wants, like the must-come-to event here in Prince George's County?
Well, you know, that's an important point because we do need to make it a must-come-to event, and it is going to be a must-come-to event, probably the best that anyone's seen in about 20 years or so. This DMV area has a lot to offer with the National Harbor Wheel, with MGM Hotel, the fantastic Gaylord Hotel, and everything that goes along with it, and the proximity to Washington, D.C., as well as the great things we have to offer in Prince George's County. So it's going to be a fantastic time, and we're looking forward to all the brothers attending.
Now, of course, I'm going to let everybody know how they can find out more about it. But while I have you, I want to make sure I get into some other things. And I know that there's a Summer Seniors Banquet that comes up soon. So can you talk about that?
Yes, the Summer Seniors Banquet is something that we do yearly. We've been doing it for quite some time now. Actually, the banquet is one of our key initiatives in the chapter. And what we do is we take care of the seniors. We take care of those that are least amongst us, able to take care of and fend for themselves. So we feed them, we feed their bodies, we feed their minds, and we feed their spirits with some information. And we also do some gospel music, some singing. We have a Gamma Pi choral that will sing to them. So,
you going to sing?
I'm not. However, I will be there in spirit and in presence and make sure that it's a fantastic event.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the chapter workshop and looking ahead. Now, you just had chapter elections for next year, and are you pleased with the new leadership?
I'm absolutely pleased with the new leadership. I have 5 of the past 6 years I've been in leadership with the chapter. 2 years as bossless, 2 years as vice, and also as the keeper of records and seal. So it's time for a transition. I've had the opportunity to work with Brother Terrence Hare, who's going to be the incoming bossless. He's ready to go. He's got some fantastic ideas. I think the brother's going to be proud and happy to work with him. And I'll continue to be around. I'm not going anywhere.
He said, don't count you out. You're going to be right here.
That's right. That's right.
So I want to say that before I end up with you, Super Chapter. How does that make you feel when you say that you are the Super Chapter for Omega Psi Phi?
Well, I'm proud to say that. For one thing, the super chapter came not just because of our size, but because of the level of activities that we perform. We do some really, really powerful things. Last year, we gave out over $60,000 in scholarship. We mentored over 600 students. We fed numerous amounts of senior citizens. We did all types of things.
So you have a super long list of everything that you guys are doing.
We do, and we'll continue to do it. We've been in Prince George's County now for 53 years, and we're looking forward to another good 53 years.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it sounds like the chapter has been very busy, and you've got a lot planned for the coming up months ahead, and I'll be along for the ride. And I'm a Delta. I'm going to put it out there, so I'm going to bring my sisters out there too. So all the best to everyone at the Super Chapter and all the service and things that you do for your leadership. I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shalene, and you're welcome.
So coming up next on Community Uplift, he's a mental health counselor right here in our communities. His work is heroic, and he's here today to tell us all about it. That's coming up next on Community Uplift.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Welcome back to Community Uplift. Our youth today are facing all sorts of mental battles, and it's up to us to be there for them. We're joined by someone who is doing just that with his podcast and service in the mental health spaces, Terrence Woodbury. Also, he goes by T. Wood. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Grateful for the opportunity to be here.
Now,
Appreciate it.
Off camera, we were talking about the whole mental health, and especially with our Black men. So I just want to know, walk us through your journey, and how did you even get this passion for mental health?
Well, I tell you what, thank you for that question. Initially, growing up, at some point I realized that people that I loved and cared about were literally suffering in silence. Now, this included family, friends, and even teammates on the court. Through time, I realized that in order to really start healing, it starts literally from something as simple as an honest conversation. And from that is where I really started to dive into what I noticed came natural for me, and that was engaging. And that's the beginning segment when it comes to mental wellness and mental health.
But I don't think that, especially in the Black community, we talk about it enough. I feel like as a Black woman, I had an aunt and an uncle, and they were saying, oh, they're touched. But to me, that word touched, you might have heard that in your family. But back then, there was a mental health thing going on, a crisis at the time, but people really didn't talk about it. So for you specifically, was it something in your family that you said, you know what, I'm noticing something, I got to make a change and make sure people understand what it is and what's happening?
Oh, absolutely. See, you hit right on it, especially involving with our culture. See, people don't realize that, I'm a big believer when it comes to the village, right? So it's an all-inclusive. That's how I approach pretty much everything in my life. And I noticed that the most detrimental things that affected my family and families around me were the things that were not said. And the things that were not said were the things that pretty much manifested through generations. So it prompted me to be that generational curse breaker.
We need people like that. So I'm told that you have a podcast, Triumph Moments with T. Wood, and I know you have a lot of followers. We're going to get you some more followers today.
Let's do it.
So talk to us about that podcast.
Okay. Well, I work in mental health. I'm a licensed social worker, specialize in mental health and actually military social work. So military around mental health also.
That's major too.
Yes, ma'am.
We could be on a whole story for that, talking about the military mental health.
A whole nother segment. A whole nother segment. And so that motivated me it was like the foundation of what inspired me to create Triumphant Moments with T. Wood. So basically in this podcast, I highlight significant moments in life beyond the surface to inform, encourage, and inspire people to triumph over their life's challenges. That's the segment, because I truly believe that sometimes in life we have to pull from what we've been through in order to conquer things that we're currently going through.
I love that. Now, I have to let you know that I am a proud HBCU graduate.
Pow. Gotta give a pow.
Yeah, I know you want to. I got to say, the national treasure, Morgan State University. I have to say that.
Hey.
But I will also say that at HBCUs, because we are surrounded by a lot of people that look like us, it could be a challenge, when students come into the campus and they have all sorts of everything going on around them. And mental health is something that a lot of students face daily, just being away from home and having ways to cope and deal with that. So talk about what you're doing for that HBCUs.
Absolutely. There's a program that is going to be rolling out extremely soon. And it's something I created called Pressure to Performance, right? And so in this program, it's a different way of approaching mental health and mental wellness, as different than how we may just sit here and have a conversation. It's a more open dialogue, one part storytelling, one part peer-led circles and interactions. And so you couple that to meet the student where they are, as opposed to me sitting up here speaking some certain lingo that's up here. No, let's start where we at and let's have an open dialogue and a conversation. I'm very big when it comes to that.
Now, do you think that the students will get engaged as you want them to? Because again, the first thing I would say is having a conversation. Like you said, you can bring them to the table, but to get them to talk and to open up about the issues so that they can feel comfortable, how do you deal with things like that? Because this political climate right now, I'm sure it's affecting so many students at HBCUs.
See, that goes back to tearing down certain stigmas.
Okay.
Right, we all know what they are. It's within our culture. Even dealing with mental health, we have to. Let's say black men, we got to stick our chests out, right? We got to hold it in, right? That's real strength. No, it's not.
We talked about that.
No,
I say that black men should hurt, they should feel, they should cry, they should be emotional and vulnerable.
Right.
It doesn't make you less of a man that you show. To me, that's showing strength.
Right. And see, trying to find the best way to say it, but
just say it.
Having someone that looks like you, having the conversation, opens the door before the conversation is even had. That is something that I discovered in my time that I spent dealing in mental health. Prime example, when it comes to like pressure to performance, you have athletes, and then you may have the mental health services. Well, in this program I created, it's created to fill in that gap. Just because you have athletes and mental health services in the same location doesn't mean that the athletes are going to actually utilize the services. All right? That's where that open dialogue comes into play, Yeah.
So I know we're in the month of June, and it's Men's Mental Health Month, but I like to say that when you have mental health, it's 365. They're just giving us this 1 month to kind of spotlight it, but to me, it's 365. So for me as a black woman, why should mental health matter for black men? For somebody watching, why should they watch this show and say, you know what? It matters, I matter.
That goes back to that whole village thing that I was talking about earlier. Through our generations, we don't know what our parents and our parents' parents went through.
But they don't talk about it.
Thank you. You beat me to it. Thank you. And it's the conversation that really can lead the way. And it has to be in a huge, safe space. You have to feel like this person or this group of people that we're having this conversation with are not judging how I feel or judging my perspective versus my perception.
That's right. True.
So it has to be had there, and exactly what you said.
Now, our time is running out, but I have 2 more things I definitely wanted to talk about. Mentorship. How is important is that for young black boys to have a mentor in their life?
Well, first off, I would not be the person I am in front of you, confident, speaking with confidence, being here, and all the things that I've gone through in my life to get here. Let me make it clear, I do not look like what I've been through. I don't.
That's a blessing.
But because of the mentorship that I've had, right, it helped me gain the confidence, and seeing people that look like me accomplish things, from coaches, from teachers, whatever position that you can think of, it inspired me. It inspired me indirectly.
So which online platforms and websites can people find out more information about you and what you're doing?
Oh, thank you for asking. So anything regarding to the podcast and what I'm doing, a tour is coming up, you can go to encouragementforfree.com. I tried to make it easy for y'all. Encouragement for free, all one word, encouragement, FORFREE.com, and TikTok and your IGs, T Wood Motivates.
T Wood Motivates.
You
And
got
I want
it.
to tell you that I've got to say you're doing some fantastic things. I'm so happy that the work that you're doing is very important, and we really appreciate you for being here and there for our youth, because our youth are our future.
Yes.
And we're here in your corner too. I want you to know that. So thank you again for joining us. Up next, he's no stranger to working with students in our communities. You've seen him on the sidelines as the head football coach at the University of Maryland. And he's doing that, yes, he's done some heroic things with his platform too. We cannot wait to share that with you. That's coming up next on Community Uplift.
I would just want you to listen to me more often and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Welcome back to Community Uplift. He's the head coach at one of the biggest college football programs in the country. But his job is much bigger than X's and O's. It's about leading young men in our communities through challenges. His voice does more than calling plays to win games. He's also an advocate for the mental health community, and he's here to tell us all about his journey. Please welcome Coach Michael Locksley to Community Uplift. How are you, Coach Mike?
What's up, Miss Shalene? How are you?
We got a Mikey and a Mike here. We want to talk about mental health stuff, right?
Let's do it. I'm with it.
So thank you again for coming in. And I want to jump to one of the questions that just stood out on this paper. What are some of the most misconceptions about mental health, especially in the Black community and among athletes? Because you're around so many of those.
Yeah, I'll start with the athletes because that's kind of the wheelhouse I'm in. And typically it starts with, because I deal with 18 to 22-year-old testosterone-filled young men that play a gladiator-type sport where you're supposed to be tough, you're supposed to be mentally and physically tough, and you're not supposed to lay on the ground, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to hurt, and I can tell you that that's not always the case, and at our place at the University of Maryland, we make it a very safe place to what I call unpack your luggage, because to get the best out of most of the players that I have an opportunity to coach, a lot of them end up first-generation college kids that are coming onto a campus, and I'm at a predominantly white institution, and for the first time it can be traumatizing. I know it was for me, and so I think the misconception is that you're tough and just get over it and don't cry, but there's a lot of things you got to unpack to get the best out of each player that you have an opportunity to coach.
I understand it a lot because, especially, I have a Black son, and even though we went to HBCU, talking to him about mental health and having him understand, like you just said, it's okay to hurt, it's okay to cry, and I think that Black men aren't given that voice or that choice to cry and to show emotions and feelings. So, I would love to know: do you have a personal family story around mental health that you could share with us?
Yeah, my mental health story, I grew up in the south side of Washington, D.C., and you used the word, I think, touched, and we used to say, man, he's lunching. And
Lunch,
I never
I've
knew
heard
what
that.
we never really identified what that was. And so growing up, I saw people that dealt with mental health issues. But for me, the trigger for me was having a son that dealt with mental health issues. My son, Miko, who was murdered in 2017 at the age of 21. He went from being a normal 21-year-old Division I football player to really struggling with understanding the difference between myth and what's actually happening. And it was, I know for my wife and I, it was a struggle because it was really our first experience with having to navigate mental health and to find that there's not a lot of resources for free, number one, and we were fortunate that we had the resources to try to figure it out, but figuring it out was not easy. And so for us, it was Miko's story inspired me because I saw a look in my son's eye as he dealt with being diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. Where it's almost like you could see his soul through his eyes, and it reminded me of some looks that I have maybe seen on the eyes of a bunch of players that I've had the opportunity to coach over the last 37 years. And because of that, it became the catalyst for how I coach now, because in honor of losing Miko, who dealt with the mental health and battled it, I now use my players as examples of how I can help them unpack the luggage, make it a little easier for them, and then also recognizing those signs, recognizing those eyes.
Because all those boys, those young men, they're your son now.
They are.
So
It's a
you
piece
have
of
to make
Miko
sure
in each
that
one.
you're the advocate for them. Like you said, you can look into their eyes and see when they're not having a good day and kind of put a pause on it. Have you done that, like taking some of your players away to kind of sit down and do like a check-in, like what's going on? How are you feeling?
Yeah, we do. We have a exercise we do. It's almost like a way to welcome someone into the family, where every new member of our team, whether it's a staff member, whether it's a player, a coach, at the end of every workout, we bring up 1, 2, 3 guys up to the front of the team as we end our workout or practice, and we do what's called the 3H exercises. We ask you to share who your hero was, what hardships you've been through, and what's been the happiest moment of your life thus far. And those 3 questions have elicited some amazing responses. And I mean, I sometimes leave the post-practice huddle in tears to hear some of the stories, the hardships that some of these 18-year-old, as well as some of the coaches that come in. I mean, it gives you a chance to maybe make it a safe space to talk about your story, to tell your story, and to do it in front and be vulnerable. You know, from a leadership standpoint, I've learned vulnerability is one of the greatest traits you can have as a leader. So I use the story of Miko with my players because I often share my story, and it's my way of honoring him and keeping his name alive.
I was going to say that, you know, when you have a son and that, you know, you have lost your son, but the memory of him, like you said, to be there as a coach, as an advocate, as a father figure for these I guess, the next generation, and they know they can come to you. Do you find that a lot of the guys come to you to kind of, hey, coach, for just some one-on-one time, or you do the 3 H's and they're pretty good?
No, because, you know, when I first got to Maryland, we had 1 full-time mental health counselor, and I single-handedly advocated, and now we have 6 full-time because of the types of luggage we have to unpack. And like I said, to get the best version of each kid, you have to find ways to unpack that luggage. But I also, you know, we continue. It's something that we talk about. We're constantly checking in, but we also continue to make it a safe space for our guys. We continue to allow them when, you know, we do things when players are injured. One of the toughest things a player deals with in an injury is being isolated. And so before you get your injury, you go in the training room, you're there for 4 months on your own. Well, we've created a group, a counseling group, where the injured players in our team are able to maybe meet, share their experiences, and as well as maybe mentor and talk some of the younger guys that are going through this. So it's a lot of mentorship, a lot of communication, open dialogue, and open door policies as well.
Now, this is Gamma Pi. So we
super chapter.
Yes, the super
chapter.
The super chapter. Did I say that right?
You did.
So I want to turn to something that you were doing to educate us on Gamma Pi's efforts, because again, mental health awareness in a fraternity is super important as well. So what are some of the efforts you guys are doing?
No pun intended. It's
No
super.
pun intended. It's super
So
important.
I came across in spring 22, and our line had to do a line project. And of course, me being one of the older gentlemen on our line, I came up with the line project was to do a mental health awareness seminar in the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, which comes right before Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And my line, the Spring 22 line of Gamma Pi, put on a seminar basically on campus where we had different mental health professionals come. I was able to tell my story and why it was important to do this, and I had the support of my line brothers and my chapter in welcoming. It started out just in-house with Gamma Pi members being in attendance, and it's really has grown. We've done it, 4 years straight or 3 years straight. We're going into the fourth year of doing it, and it's been really well received, and we continue to try to tweak it and make it better with each year, but it's really grown, and it's been something that's been great for our chapter.
So you're like the driving force behind that thing. So you can take.
I wouldn't say that because we had a lot of people that helped put it together, but it was a idea. It's something that I thought was important that I thought I could maybe bring to Gamma Pi because of the journey and some of the things I've been through.
And for someone watching, in your own words, when would you tell somebody that seeks help, or how they're feeling, or like what's going on in their mind? Like, what is that one thing that you could share with somebody?
I think the big thing is it starts with the relationship. For me as a head coach, I've always been a relationship guy, and it's really spending the time to get to know people. And for me, I sit on people's couches and they hand their sons over to me at a pivotal time in their life at the age of 18, which is they're on the front of the bridge of manhood, and it's my job to get them over that bridge and then back to them, as I like to say, a better version of themselves. And so for me to be able to have the impact on an 18-year-old to make it okay, to teach him the lessons of what it looks like. We talk about it. We bring in the mental health professionals. It's something that's really active, and it starts with the communication part of it.
So I just want to talk about football real quick.
Uh-oh.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know a left wing tackle guard from a touchdown, Hail Mary, all that kind of stuff. But what's your hope for the season this year?
Well, let's start. There's a lot of people that think I don't know football right now either, but that's okay. No, I'm excited. I mean, football is a thing that mimics life. You have some good days, some bad days, but we've had some good times at the University of Maryland. We've done something as a program that hadn't happened in 130 years of the program, where we went to 3 straight bowl games. We won all 3. A year ago, the new landscape got implemented, and now it's different. But as always, we pivot.
Win-win-win?
We always know how to pivot, and we use our ingenuity to figure it out. And we think I feel good about what this season looks like. We've got a pretty good team.
I'm not on the team, but that's okay. You would win if I was on the team.
No doubt.
We know it's not easy doing what you do, but you do it so well. And I just want to say thank you again for all your work, Coach Locksley, and good luck, because win, 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 Terrapins.
I love it.
Let's go. That kind of rhymes. And we thank you for joining us as well. I told you it was going to be a powerful and impactful talk about mental health and everything that happens in our communities. And hopefully today's show opened up some conversations for you while we strive to provide helpful resources. The information we covered is not a replacement for professional therapy or for counseling. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, we urge you to seek professional help. You can recap today's show at gammapi.org. Also, connect with them on X at GammaPiQs, and also on Facebook and YouTube at Gamma Pi Chapter. For all of us here at Community Uplift, I'm Micheline Bowman, and thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time, so take care.